Hello from Myrtle Beach. Today we're going to share with you what it has been like to live in Myrtle Beach for a full year. As you may know, if you've been with us a long time, we had a vacation home here for I think about 20 years off and on.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time here, but it's different living here full time. And so this is going to continue our Moving to Myrtle Beach series. I will link that series in the description below. Highly recommend you go back and watch all of them because I'm not going to recover everything that we covered in the other videos. Hi, I'm Carmen. If you're new here, we cover everything Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area. And if you're a return viewer, welcome back. We are so glad to have you with us. So we're here at Broadway at the beach. You can see Ripley's behind us. It is a beautiful day. And if you've been with us since we first moved here a year ago, we filmed this exact bench. But they've added an umbrella. It's the exact same bench, but they have added an umbrella, which I'm really grateful for because the heat index is about 100 degrees right now. It's really hot. So we're going to go over both the pros and the cons. I'll give you the short answer. Do we regret moving here? No, we're happy, and we probably should have saved that to the end, but we'll just go ahead and share that with you. We are happy we moved here. We have no regrets from that perspective. However, there are some cons, and I think it's something that you should definitely consider if you think you're going to move here, or really anywhere different than where you're from, just to a new place, especially if you haven't moved before. So let's start, I guess, with the cons. So we'll start with the negative-ish stuff and then move to the positives. Do you have any cons you want to talk about, Brian? I know it's mostly positive, but
it's just traffic. So yeah, since being here full time every day, it's like dealing with the traffic has been a challenge.
Yeah, and he's referring to the tourist traffic specifically. So in the off season, it's great.
Yeah, it's wide
like
open.
There's no we were used to, because we came from a bigger city. We were used to rush hour traffic. You don't really have that here. During tourist season, you have midday traffic. The worst traffic is probably from 10 a.m. on, and it just goes for the rest of the day. And so we get out early a lot because you miss a lot of that traffic. So there's ways to mitigate it. But where that gets annoying, I know you're like, well, duh, it's a tourist place, so there's traffic. I mean, I know you think that way, but where it gets annoying when you live here full time is when you want to go 3 miles down the road to the grocery store and it takes 30 minutes. So that's the kind of, traffic that we're talking about, is like really insane bumper to bumper kind of traffic. What else? Can you think of anything else?
That's it for me.
That's it for you. So for me, I miss a few amenities from our last place. Talking about like a larger airport, a big airport that flies directly to a lot of places. I also miss certain stores. So like for me personally, this is just a personal, I miss Trader Joe's, I miss Whole Foods. I miss having an Apple store. And I know that sounds funny because it's not that often you buy a phone, but if you have a problem with your phone, it's nice to be able to walk into an Apple store. So it's just certain amenities that they don't have here I miss. You can get to all those in Charleston, but that's about a 2-hour drive. Yeah. So it's not something trivial, to go to those locations. And speaking of Charleston, if you need any specialty medical care, it's possible you may need to go to MUSC in Charleston. And again, that's a 2-hour drive one way, depending on traffic, can be longer. They have plenty of regular medical care here, but if you're looking for specialists for a specialized condition or something, you may very well need to go to Charleston for that. And we didn't know that till we got here either. And that's new for us because we came from an area where there was plentiful medical care, like every specialist you could think of. And so that was sort of a surprise, I think, for us that one doctor I see referred to this as a rural area. And it's funny to think of it that way since there's so much traffic and so many people, but definitely something to keep in mind. Continuing a few cons, you may already be aware of this, but we're in a hurricane area. And because of that, homeowners insurance is astronomically high compared to where we moved from.
Well, already ours, we got...
It doubled.
Yeah, well, we got our insurance policy as soon as we moved here 1 year ago. So, of course, here's the renewal coming up.
Yep.
It's doubled already.
It's doubled. And we shopped other insurance. Some carriers pulled out, and so now it's even more expensive because of lack of competition. And then South Carolina has one of the worst driving rates for accidents. And because of that, the auto insurance is a lot higher than what we had to pay. We moved from North Carolina for frame of reference, and what we had to pay there, it's much higher here in South Carolina. And then the last thing I'll mention that you may be like, oh, this is so obvious, I know this, is I miss my family and friends. And yeah, that doesn't matter. That's not a Myrtle Beach specific thing. It's anywhere you move away. We grew up in the same town and we had tons of lifelong friends and family there. And so they're not that far away, but I miss them. I miss being able to see them more often. And does time make that better? Not yet. Maybe in the future it will, but I still miss them. And yes, we visit, but I still miss them. On the pros, there are so many pros. Would I move back where I came from? No, even with the negatives that we mentioned. One major thing, since we talked about traffic, is yes, there are bypasses and things here in like Highway 31, but there are no major interstates to have to deal with, like bumper to bumper traffic for commuting. There's none of that here. And there are things like 31 that let you bypass most of the traffic. And you learn which roads to stay off of, like 501. Someone asked us to film 501. We avoid that in the summer at all costs. Sorry, we'd love to help you, but it's just bumper to bumper. You're barely moving. So once you live here, you learn which roads to stay off of and which roads to use. Little tip, if you're in Myrtle Beach proper, Grissom is a good one to cut through the middle. We've used that a lot, you know, to get off the bypass or get off Kings Highway. So yeah, to me that's a pro. No big interstates, no commuter traffic. And then also the obvious, we're at the beach. We can go to the beach anytime we want. We can go to the aquarium behind us anytime we want. We have annual passes to so many things.
Yeah, we have a collection.
We have a collection of annual passes to all the Ripley's attractions, Brook Green Gardens,
Skywheel.
The Skywheel. All of the annual passes are pretty reasonably priced. And we can go to the beach every day if we want. We can go to the state parks. We have state park pass as well. That's another annual pass. But all those things are what makes it worth living here. And you don't have to wait, you know, for your vacation or for your weekend if you have a second home. It's just any day, it's a nice day. You know, you can pop out. Like today's gorgeous. I mean, it's just beautiful out today. Hot, but beautiful. Another positive is living in a place that feels like you're on vacation, which yes, that's sort of going off what I just said about being at the beach. But you know, you see people here, you can tell they're on vacation, and you have that euphoric feeling. I live here. People are coming.
It's kind of odd.
It's a different sensation. We know people are coming here, spending their vacation money to come here, and we live here, and it's great. Another huge pro, this depends on your personal preference, of course, because like my dad, for example, loves the mountains. I love that everything's flat here. It makes for great biking. We love to bicycle, and so that is so much fun here. I even just like the walking on the flat ground, walking on the beach. I love the fact it's flat. I don't know. Some people, like I said, would not like that, but especially for biking, it's great. And there are a decent amount of bike lanes or bike-friendly places here. Do have to be careful because of the drivers that we mentioned before, but it's not bad, and we really enjoy it. We've biked a lot more since we've moved here than we did where we moved from. Another positive is we don't have to go anywhere to have fun. Where we used to live, there wasn't a lot of entertainment. You know, I mean, there's a few things to do, of course, like anywhere, but there wasn't a lot of super fun stuff to do. Here, we don't have to go somewhere. We don't have to get in the car and drive a few hours to go somewhere fun. We get in the car, drive 5 to 20 minutes, and we're at all kinds of entertainment, the beach.
Lots of choices.
Yeah, that part's amazing. And so that way, if you have limited time off work or whatever your situation is, you can make the most of it. You're not spending time in a car trying to get to where you would love to be. If you have any questions for us about moving, leave those in the description below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. That really helps us a lot. Thanks so much for watching. Until our next adventure.